This is KHQA Overtime with Chris Dewar. Brought to you by Con Communications. This is KHQA. It's your news now.
And this is Saturday, October the 5th, and you have entered Overtime, where we put the hyper in hyper-local sports coverage. Now, we have many and varied offerings coming your way on this rainy sports weekend, including, but not limited to, college and high school football, volleyball, golf, and soccer, as well as a sort of unique Seeds of Greatness segment spotlighting the next generation of gridiron stars in Pike County. But we start tonight with the Tri-State's most prominent football name, about to become a whole lot more prominent on the national stage. Quincy Notre Dame alum Jack Cornell announced this afternoon via his Twitter feed that he would be promoted from the Oakland Raiders practice squad to the 53-man active roster, effective immediately, which means Jack could see his first official professional action as early as tomorrow night's game against the San Diego Chargers. Now, Cornell has a Super Bowl ring from his one-year stint with the Baltimore Ravens, but never saw any official action. As of today, that makes him at a very different echelon in his career. The Raiders have had some offensive line woes, and we all now have a reason to keep tabs on a game that normally wouldn't interest too many of us other than the hardcore Raider fans out there. So congratulations to Jack. We'll look forward to seeing where this goes from here. College football today, the debut of Truman State in the GLVC. It started off very well with a lot of defense for the Bulldogs in this one. Very staunch. TJ Fine breaking up a Nick Lonergan pass attempt. At the other end, though, Quincy University about to answer. That's Joseph McNally breaking up a pass attempt, forcing Truman into its first punt of the day, and things would go awry for the Hawks from there. This punt muffed badly. That makes for a short field, and the first of back-to-back field goals in this affair for the Bulldogs as they would take an early 6-0 lead. And then things just sort of snowballed on QU. This is Aaron Hartford from 8 yards out, extending the Bulldog lead out to 13-0. The Hawks, boy, it was just a really dismal offensive performance. Held to minus 19 yards rushing thanks to the efforts here of linebacker Matthew Bell, who comes up strong. Nick Lonergan also sacked 9 different times today, including one here by Matthew Smith. And then it was the outstanding tailback for Truman State, Garrett White, doing his thing. Couple of big pickups right here. This one to set his team up in the red zone. The next one to move the ball all the way down to the 1-inch line. I think the officials might have botched this call because it looks like White gets in right here. Ball crosses the plane, ruled that he didn't. So one play later, it's the quarterback sneak to put the score at that point out to 20-0. Just an awful day for Quincy University in every stretch and fashion of the imagination as Truman State debuts nicely in the GLVC with a 33-0 victory, your final in favor of Truman State. That would end up. A couple of college scores to pass along today. Culver Stockton getting better. Nearly upset Evangel today. Got close and at least made it a great ball game. You can tell they're playing a very different level of football right now as the Wildcats, despite a great rushing effort from Desmond Phillips, come up just short, 34-28. Another win, though, for Illinois College, who is still undefeated and rolling today. Big day for Cecil Brimage, who sets a new season high with 273 rushing yards. He had just 1 touchdown. However, his passing game would pick him up nicely in this game today as Michael Bates threw a pair of touchdown passes to Kevin Fuller and Kurt Frischman to make things, a pair of touchdown passes to Kevin Fuller. Also, I should mention that Kurt Frischman returned an interception, 75 yards for a touchdown as well. So the Blue Boys still undefeated and I believe headed back home next week. Now, on the high school gridiron this week, it was a make-or-break road game this afternoon for Pleasant Hill Western's playoff hopes. After shocking the world with that great season-opening win at Triopia, the Wolves have slumped a bit and fell to 2-3 at the mid-poll. You do the math, and you know that Mike Giles' team could ill afford another loss in that chase for at least 5 wins. They probably need 6. Interesting day today down in Whitehall. We take you to this one, opening kickoff right here. And this, my friend, is Tristan Whelan. It's a squib kick that quickly turns into an onside kick right off the bat. Pleasant Hill has the ball, and they're going to go to work. 3 plays later, play action perfection for the Wolves as Kyle Moore will go to the air and hook up with Kyle Mowen, who's wide open and goes in for the score. Makes it 6-0. Corbin Edwards going to step up on the two-point conversion, fight his way through contact twice, and kind of spin his way into the end zone to make it an 8-0 lead for the Wolves. North Green would answer, though, via the flea flicker here to get their offense going. It's Adam Knox to Logan Ross, and that would set up Nathan Randall, who threw for more than 320 yards today. They believe that is a North Green record. This is a touchdown pass to Chaz Lewis. It's 8-all at that point, would stay that way until the third quarter, thanks to great defense like this quarterback sack from Blake Smith. We take you to the second half. Corbin Edwards about to break this thing open and at least put his team in the lead temporarily. 8-yard touchdown run. The Wolves break on top 14-8. Logan Ross, though, answers very well right here. Another passing strike, this time on the little swing pass as it's Randall to Ross. And the PAT conversion would be good. 15-14, the Spartans now lead. 6 minutes left in the ball game. Turning point still 15-14 Spartans. Great pickoff right here by Ty Pruitt. And that sets the Pleasant Hill offense up with a very short field. Kyle Moore going to do his thing on the quarterback keeper, give his team a 20-15 lead with about 6 minutes left. With 3:30 left, disaster for the Wolves. Randall would answer right back. Wide open bomb right here. And that, my friends, makes it a 21-20 lead at that point in favor of Pleasant Hill, in favor of the Spartans. Here comes Pleasant Hill, the unlikeliest 2-minute drill you're ever going to see. First of all, ill-advised kickoff return by Ty Pruitt. Nothing he did here should have worked. It all did, all the way to the 50-yard line. Facing third and long, again, Pleasant Hill trying to throw things up, ball underthrown, and off the back of it, great catch right here by Kyle Mowen, who's going to pick it up and rumble all the way into the red zone. And even when things went wrong, they went right. Here's Kyle Moore fumbling the ball on initial contact and still taking it in for what it would turn out to be the go-ahead touchdown. Pleasant Hill up 26-21 at this point. I'll tell you what, one more chance in this one for North Green as Randall goes to the air, but this time it's A-Rod. Alex Rodhouse with the interception that seals the deal, and Pleasant Hill wins an absolute thriller today. Final count in this one sees the Wolves up 26-21 to even their record on the season to 3-3 and help improve their playoff chances. We had one other high school game to pass along today. The news not good for West Hancock, who remains winless. They go on the road, do the Titans, and lose to Arcola. 42-0 was your final there. Some soccer scores to pass along today. Huge showdown in St. Louis for Quincy High School all weekend long in the Gateway Classic. It ends today with the Blue Devils taking on the number 24 team in the entire country, St. Dominic of St. Louis. The game was scoreless up until the 10-minute mark, or I should say up until the 70-minute mark, when the Blue Devils gave up one loose goal, and that is the difference in the ball game as Quincy High falls to 11-2-3 on the season. I believe they had one win, one tie, and one loss in this tournament, which is an outstanding showing heading into Monday's showdown with Quincy Notre Dame. Quincy Notre Dame struggling today in Springfield at the Mid-State Classic. The Raiders lose 2-1 in the 8 a.m. game against Sacred Heart Griffin. The lone goal there coming from Aubrey Reese. And in the nightcap against Evanston, Illinois, another loss for QD, this time 3-1. Cooper Reese had the only goal there. And finally on the soccer docket, Beardstown, another victory today. They only played a half due to bad weather at Mount Pulaski, but Murphy Domitian, who had the hat trick last night, has another hat trick today, all of it in the first half. And that is a darn impressive soccer feat. And we, my friends, are just getting warmed up here on Overtime. As I mentioned, a very special Seeds of Greatness coming up. We've also got volleyball for you from the Troy tournament where Hannibal showed out early. Could they complete it and get the championship against a loaded field? Those highlights are coming up next.
You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Dewar. Brought to you by Con Communications.
Field at the Troy tournament. St. Charles West to start the day. The Lady Pirates proving they are indeed morning people in this one as Melanie Blaze delivers early to get her team the service. And it would be Miss Blaze serving very nicely, unleashing and uncorking, I should say, the nasty ace here off the net. Blaze on a nice serving spree to open, and Gabby Wiley, the future Louisville Cardinal, assists with a left-handed laser right here. More of Wiley as she can serve it up as well. Oh, this girl from SCW, St. Charles West, nearly lost an appendage on that one. Brooklyn Watson coming up strong with the kill as well. Early lead in game number 1. Then Hannibal got into kind of a funk. They had to bail themselves out of it. Melanie Blaze doing that with a little defense to start things up. Then Lauren Wieland, who had 3 of these on the day, 3 aces with a nice one there to get her team back on a nice service spree. Gabby Wiley going to help close out game number 1 with a 21-17 victory. And then it's Brooklyn Watson to end your highlights as Hannibal ends up taking their pool, winning first place, winning all 3 games, and beating St. Charles West here, 21-17, 21-13. Unfortunately, after that, things got real hard for the Pirates as they end up losing to Troy, the host team, in the semifinals in 3 games, and then in the third place game, losing to Deschênes in 2 games, 23-25, 21-25 as well. One other volleyball note to pass along today that you do not see there. For the 2nd straight year, Illini West, Aubrey Carlisle and company win the Rushville Industry Tournament, so that's back-to-back championships for the Illini West Chargers as they show out strong in that tournament. I can tell you that Rushville Industry, the host school, had a couple of big wins in this one, including a win over Franklin in straight games, 25-20, 25-20. And also I can tell you that from Rushville Industry, because this is all the information we were provided, Courtney Higgins, Brianna Flores, and Madison Kessler all made the all-tournament team for Rushville Industries squad, so congratulations to those 3 girls. Softball tonight, big showdown on the late side tonight at Palmyra. Centralia defending state champion twice. They get it done again. They beat Palmyra. Not many teams beat Palmyra this soundly. 6-0 was your final. As you can see, they are very, very legit, are the Centralia Lady Panthers. How about some golf today? D.A. Weibring Invitational out at Westview. Quincy High School trying to dodge some raindrops, and we haven't seen anybody this good with an umbrella since Fred Astaire. This, my friends, is Zach Burry, and he was awesome today. Wet conditions made things soft, and he was on the attack here on number 8. That's a birdie putt from long distance to get him to 3 under at the time, 3 under on the day. He was a 68, and he ran away with the tournament medalist honors. Quincy High solid throughout. Colby Rodemick doing his thing as well. His approach shot here on number 6, nice and solid as he would end up taking par on the day. This day, all about the Blue Devils as a team as well. We'll get to that in a second. We can also tell you Quincy Notre Dame, pretty darn strong as Drew Eaton and company come in 2nd place. But as I mentioned, as we go to the scoreboard, Quincy High School, your winner today, and by a sizable margin, breaking 300, which doesn't happen very often, as the Blue Devils post a 299. Quincy Notre Dame just 3 strokes back with a 302. Edwardsville way back of both schools. And as I mentioned, a stellar day for Zach Burry from Quincy High School, who continues to play some outstanding golf. Speaking of more golf, we take you to Pike County, Old Orchard Country Club for the Pittsfield Invitational. Tough day for our guy Trevor Knipe, but he did get some redemption right here on number 2 with the absolutely astounding 25-foot putt. Knocks that home. Nice for Trevor right there. Playing in the same group, West Central's Hunter Bettis, and Hunter Bettis is a really fine golfer. In fact, fired a 79 in tough conditions today on a tough course to finish 2nd place individually and to fuel his team to a championship. You're looking at Braxton Prather, the junior from Rushville Industry, fired an 84 today to finish in 7th place. Story of this day, though, this guy from West Central, Jordan McMillan. He's a good one. On hole number 3, that sets him up for an attempt at birdie. Meanwhile, playing in the same grouping, Pittsfield's Peter Greening on the home course. Pretty nice approach shot right here. McMillan, though, going for the 4 right here, trying to log that birdie, but he just couldn't get it to fall. Ends up taking par right there. He fired a 77 on the day. Greening on the very next hole with a beautiful approach shot on the par 3 ends up with a shot at birdie. Had the flat stick working. We'll get to him in a second. More of McMillan right here. Look at the save right here to get up and down on number 4. Kid has amazing touch around the greens. He showed it right there. Peter Greening ends up finishing in 3rd place today with an 80. Would have been a 79 had that fallen. Took a nice run at it. He was disappointed. But the story, as I mentioned, West Central and Jordan McMillan, who end up taking the win today. So congratulations to them as you take a look at the team scores. Kind of a runaway today for West Central and Pittsfield as they kind of separate themselves from the pack in this one. Payson Seymour comes in 3rd place as well. And Rushville Industry rounds out the top 4 on the day with a finish, as you see right there, of 391. Okay, I have to apologize. I miscalculated last week. We needed one more Con Communication Connection nomination for a quorum in the month of September. So your chance to vote for your favorite at connecttristates.com doesn't come this week. It comes starting on Monday. And if you vote there, you become eligible to win a prize package from Con Communication. So we already have 5 in the book. Number 6 going to come to us from the ladies' side, and a senior day to remember for Miss Sarah Dooley, who could not have been more brilliant. She is, by the way, Knox County's only senior, so it was senior day for her before the game, and the celebration continued as she just absolutely lit up Clark County, the first of 2 home runs. She also added a long double. She was absolutely killing the softball as she had 4 ribbies, 2 2-run home runs, 3 for 3 on the day, and just an absolutely beautiful swing to go along with it. And if you are a Sarah Dooley fan coming up on Monday, now is your chance to vote for that fine young lady. Let's remind you of the other nominations and the other folks who will be out there for your consideration, if you will, to sound like the Hollywood Academy Awards. Brady Crane from Rushville Industry might be my pick for that Marcus Allen-like reversal of field in week number 1 for Rushville Industry. Then you've got the combination of Jordan Nutt and Brock Butler from Palmyra football. That touchdown just before the first half and the big upset win. Actually, we're not even calling it an upset win anymore. The big win over Centralia for the Clarence Cannon Conference frontrunners. Also on the docket, the soccer connection that helped Quincy High beat Quincy Notre Dame. We are talking about the combination of Hunter Hosher and Blake Dittmer getting that done. Also Hannibal with a great passing combination a few weeks ago between Dalton Overstreet and Mr. Austin Kirby, who's played some fine quarterback of late. And finally, to remind you, last week's nominee, it was of the defensive nature. If you like hard hitting, Sydney Weir with the clean and jerk hit for South Shelby in their big win over Monroe City, where he actually picked a dude up and just threw him on the ground. We won't mention that dude's name because we like him and we don't want to do that to him. And as you mentioned right there, Sarah Dooley as well, all of them for your consideration. Again, go on Monday, cast your vote, you vote, you have a chance to win. And when we come back, it's Seeds of Greatness time here as we take a look at the future of Pittsfield football. And welcome back to Overtime, everybody, where it's time once again for our weekly Burris Hybrid Seeds of Greatness segment, a look into the future of all things Tri-State sports. And tonight, we've got to create a little backstory for you on the gridiron. One of the really promising junior football league programs in our area is the Pride of Pittsfield, Illinois, a group of kids who won the heavyweight jamboree title last season, upsetting Carrollton along the way in the title game. That was the only team that had beaten the Saukeys all of last year. This year, the roles, strangely enough, were reversed. Pittsfield was the unbeaten team, handing the Hawks their only loss of the season, and it was the Saukeys who had to play defender of the crown tonight. How would this shake down? Thrilling action today from Pittsfield for you as we take you to the showdown in this one. Opening drive, the defending champs were all about making a statement with the run game, and that means sweep, and that means James Gortney, who's going to get away from everybody, showing off the blazing speed. As you will see, student body right, student body gone. Great block out in front of James as he's going to hustle his way down the sidelines, spot his team to the early 6-0 lead. It's a 2-point conversion, but in JFL it's only worth 1, and it comes here for the Saukeys courtesy of Noah Mendenhall, who's going to plunge in, gets a great block right there from number 70 out in front of him, and finds his way into the end zone. There you have it. Though Carrollton, a rather sizable running game, and they would go to work just kind of pounding away at the Saukeys right here to get back into this game. In fact, it would be a 12-0 run in favor of Carrollton in this one, courtesy of the bruising run game. The Saukeys make the stand right here in the red zone. But even when things kind of went right for Pittsfield early on defensively, look at this little quick pitch away. I thought it was a quarterback sack. The ball gets away, and are you kidding me? Carrollton takes the lead in this one. As I said, jumped out 12-6 thanks to a couple of big run plays, but the Saukeys would not be denied. Not playing in their home field, not playing in front of a very avid home crowd. How about Mason Lemons about to go to the air? Well, first of all, we've got a reverse that we thought was going to go for big yardage in this one in favor of the Saukeys. Unfortunately, this play nullified, so we have to go back to the air for the Saukeys' next highlight, and we'll do that for you. Mason Lemons hooking up right here with Derek Newpower right along the sideline, gets in for the first down, and that sets up an absolutely beautiful pass. On 4th down and 12, look at Mason Lemons hook up with James Courtney again. He's going to break away from everybody, and instead of his team being in trouble, his team is suddenly back up on top thanks to that touchdown. They go up 13-12, and the Saukeys end up winning it to complete our backstory today and repeating as champs by the final count in this one of 20-12. And it's just that easy, my friends. If you want to see your favorite 14-year-old or younger athlete on the KHQA Overtime News, all you have to do is send a nomination to my email address, cdewar@khqa.com, and we will take care of you. Just explain why you think your son or daughter's team, individual performance, or whatever it is they do is worthy of coverage, and we will happily come out to cover them. Also, speaking of great future programs, they don't get much better than the Our Savior baseball program over in Jacksonville. Had a little bit of a tough finish to their weekend, but an outstanding season as they end up taking 4th place in the state in the IESA Final Four today. So congratulations to all the good folks over at Our Savior. Finally, some college scores to pass along today. It was homecoming on the soccer pitch for HLG, and it was a day of pretty darn good results for the men. A 3-2 victory for HLG, now ranked number 17 in the country. Culver Stockton's men get their first conference victory of the season, beating Avila. That game played over at Legends Stadium in Quincy. On the women's side, a day of mixed results as well. Tie today for the HLGU women on homecoming with Mo Baptist. 0s apiece in that one. Also on the soccer pitch, the Culver Stockton women, who we showed you in a victory earlier this week, can't find their scoring touch against Avila. 2-0 is your final. Also, I want to give you one volleyball score you do not see there. Benedictine over Culver Stockton today in 5 games. It would be Benedictine beating Culver Stockton despite 15 kills and 20 digs on the day from Cameron Golden. We still have a little bit more overtime for you coming up after this.